What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ross the Boss coming at you with another Let's Play Europa Universalis 4. We are about to begin our war on Bavaria with the hopes of releasing some of its extra territory. Obviously Bavaria here took over a prince, and it was not supposed to. So we are playing more of a diplomatic campaign, and obviously if we are going to release one of their princes, the rest of the Holy Roman Empire will like me, and obviously we should be able to get re-elected and possibly even gain some additional imperial authority, which is needed to enact more reforms. And in the meantime, you can see that Catholicism is still the dominant faith. We are the emperor, and we have the ability to do a variety of different actions as the emperor. And being the emperor gives us a variety of benefits. We gain yearly prestige, spy network construction, possible advisors, leaders without upkeep, and diplomatic relations, which is very nice as well. We are going to begin our takeover of Bavaria very soon. I shouldn't say takeover because we're not going to take any territory. We're just going to release some territory. Had I have taken some territory from Bavaria, they would not like me, and that could be quite dangerous. Of course, my next goal is I am losing money, and unfortunately I am going to have to purchase this level 2 diplomat. The reason for that is I want to take over more and more provinces down in Italy, and if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need some additional aggressive expansion modifiers to be reduced. In the meantime, let's send these 12,000 troops up to Tyrol. And I believe on either the 1st of March or the 1st of February, we're going to dive in here. We're losing 6 ducats every single month. This is very dangerous. I think I am going to destroy this castle, unfortunately enough, and possibly destroy this one as well. We are losing so much money every month that we need to do something quickly about it. Either take more territory or, cut back on some of our expenses. And let's declare war on Bavaria. We are going to have to recall one of our diplomats. So in the next 5 days, we'll dive in here. Hopefully stack wiping these troops. Looks like Bohemia will be joining as well. We are going to add a general, and looks like Maximilian will be leading the charge. Hopefully Bohemia doesn't join, and it looks like they are going to. We have stacked wiped all of Bavaria. We are going to send our troops towards Bohemia now. If we can somehow get out of here. And what we're going to want to do is hopefully destroy their military before they have their chance to consolidate their forces and attack us. Right now, we have an abundance of troops, and we should be able to take out just about anybody. I would love to not inflict too many wounds on Bohemia because they are our friend. But we'll see what happens. I may need to siege down some of their territory, and it looks like a lot of their troops were actually not in their territory at all. I'm going to go ahead, take out these 1,000 troops, and then head down and try to wipe out these 14,000 troops. And there goes 6,000 men. And my entire goal here is to release Augsburg. And all we really need is to just siege down one of these forts. And, we might not even need to do a separate peace with Bohemia. We'll see what happens. We obviously have a lot more men than they do. We'll see what it would take to siege down most of Bavaria here. I might not even try to waste the manpower. If we can siege down these 2 forts, Bavaria will fall. I am going to try to wipe out these 4,000 units, and unfortunately, they are going to have to go the long way because some of these fortresses are restricting our movements. We have disloyal estates. Getting some loyalty back up will improve our income, which might even be worth it. We'll see what happens. Now, it looks like we've already broken the gate here in Landshut, and so obviously the siege modifier is drastically gaining in our favor. We have 44,000 extra manpower, so any damage that these units take will slowly drain our manpower and reinforce our lines. And of course, I believe we have 39,000 troops. And altogether, you can see our army force limit. We're allowed to have up to 53,000. We can go over that limit, of course, except we will gain a significant penalty. And I believe we don't necessarily want to have that happen anytime soon. Now, I need to take Augsburg. That's really the only thing I need to have happen. For my ticking war goal, because we don't own it, our war goal is actually going down. So what we're going to need to do is take over Augsburg. And as soon as that happens, we should be able to get our war goal going in the opposite direction. And hopefully piecing out very soon. I'm going to take all of their money because I am in quite a lot of debt. And if I take any territory, I will gain more aggressive expansion, and I certainly do not want that. I'm trying to make some friends here, and we'll see what happens, I suppose. There, I have a lot of troops mustering on our border here. If I can, I'd like to prevent a battle altogether, but slowly they are producing more and more units, and I guess we'll see what happens. These are both farmland territories. Landshut will fall first, most likely. Part of me would like to just siege down all of their these units, but I really don't want to lose any extra manpower than what's necessary, especially because Bohemia is a friend of mine, and it looks like we have a new event, 2 of a kind. Most empresses accept their limited power and devote their lives to various pastimes and their family, but not Emma. She is genuinely interested in all the ins and outs of governmental matters. Over the years, she has befriended many great thinkers, politicians, and diplomats. Among them is one of their most well-known statesmen, with whom she has spent a lot of time with as of late. Now Empress Emma has asked us to make the statesman an offer, claiming that he would make a much better advisor than the diplomat Ulrich von blah 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 we currently have employed. I absolutely need a diplomat rather than a statesman, so I am going to tell Ulrich to work even harder to earn his place, gaining 50 diplomatic power. And that is that. I absolutely needed the diplomat because this aggressive expansion modifier will tick down even faster than what we're accustomed to. And it looks like we have a variety of rebel factions that might hinder us very soon. And iron ore quality problems, infantry and cavalry will cost more. We are losing a lot of ducats every single month. We're going to try our best to end this war fairly quickly. And once these cores are finished up, they should be able to get a lot of extra income as well. And this unit does have a siege, which means this went from 0% to 7%. Obviously, we are going to take some extra manpower losses, but I think that is a price we're willing to pay. And I would like to go ahead and offer Burgundy here a royal marriage as well. I had forgotten to do that earlier. And I wonder if it's even possible to do during a war, and it looks like it is. So we're going to offer Burgundy a royal marriage. Now, what normally will happen is it's all luck-based, but this duke usually will die in time, and the kingdom of Burgundy will be inherited. At least that's what happened in history. So I guess we'll see what really happens. A variety of different countries do have the ability to take over Burgundy. But I believe historically, the Habsburg dynasty, was able to do that. So we now have 32% war score. If it's possible, we have completely evaded any of these useless wars, and we didn't lose any manpower. We're going to take their money and their war reparations, and it looks like we have completed our main goal, gaining some imperial authority Augsburg is now back on the map. They absolutely love us once again. Bavaria is upset, but that will be fine for the time being. Let's bring our troops back into the fray. We'll need to improve our relations with Bohemia. Once again, call them into our alliance. And all is well in the world. We now have Imperial Authority Growth Modifier. We've improved relations with Cologne. Milan wants an alliance. We already have a royal marriage. I don't believe we really want an alliance. The game is paused. We'll go to opinion. They like the Papal States. Oh my goodness, the Papal States are allied with France. This is going to be devastating if we decide to attack them. I don't believe we are going to offer Milan an alliance. Do they have a king yet? And it looks like they do, so we are going to decline. Castile, Serbia, Wallachia, Provence, Augsburg, Leinster, Denmark, and Lithuania. So all of those attempts to somehow insert our heir onto an enemy throne or a foreign throne hasn't necessarily been too fruitful. We now have some new missions. We can accumulate money, solidify our papal relations, or vassalize Salzburg. I believe what I'm going to do is I don't want to have any aggressive expansion, so I think I'm going to try to solidify our papal relations, even though we are going to attack them in time. Are we improving relations with Bohemia? It doesn't look like it, so let's retract our diplomat from Cologne, send him to Bohemia, and try to max out our relations as soon as we can. We have a variety of rebel factions that might topple over time. And of course, we aren't at war, so there's no need to be paying all this excess army maintenance. And what I think I'm going to start doing is every time we declare war, I believe I will try to raise our war taxes here. I usually don't do that because it takes military power, but obviously having a variety of extra money could be very, very useful as well. And most of our cores or our new governments are about to be constructed. Let's take a look at our imperial authority. Once again, we have another prince who will absolutely love us, bringing us from 57 to 56. There are 2 princes for the reform, Brandenburg and Austria, and the rest of them obviously are not for this. We are gaining 0.11 imperial authority every single month, and of course we now have a new cardinal on the papacy here. We have the ability to unlock a marketplace. I believe we will spend the diplomatic power and unlock that. Wasn't necessarily needed, but, you know, now we are one step closer to learning basic financial instruments. Our cores are almost done. Our income should rise, not by a lot, but, you know, 0.16 ducats every single month. This should go down as well once we make it into a state. I don't believe we have any loans. The only issue right now is the clergy doesn't necessarily like us, and we have too many diplomatic relations giving us a -1 penalty every single month. I am going to try my best to, you know, reduce the amount of diplomatic relations that we have. My goal here is to stay the emperor. Only 2 people are voting for me right now, and surprisingly enough, Bohemia is not voting for me. So I think I'm going to try my best to get Bohemia to vote for me. Now it says they are voting for themselves, but that's most likely because another country is voting for them. I'm going to try to improve relations with Saxony whenever I can. And I guess I'm going to prepare for another war against Venice or Urbino here. I don't need to take Ferrara. The only territories I need to take will be Verona, Romagna, Ancona, Urbina, Umbria, Roma, and Urbino. So really I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more provinces to reinstate the Shadow Kingdom. We have the ability to create some new states, which will drastically cost us some administrative power, but it will drastically reduce the amount of autonomy we have. 25% is quite a lot. Once we spend our administrative power, that number will fall once again. Looks like the nobility believe they are entitled to some land. We are going to give this to Istria here, to the nobility. And of course, they are now happy once again. Some of these provinces here are likely to revolt in time. They are Catholic, but we do have some negative unrest. Our war exhaustion is ticking away. Separatism, they are going to lose 0.5 unrest every single year because of separatism, which is very, very nice. It will be a nice benefit for us. Looks like France is taking over some additional English territory. The Renaissance has now occurred. And, yeah. Basically what that means is we are entering a new technological area. If we go to our institutions map mode, it looks like Monteferrara here has embraced the Renaissance. All of these territories, this technology is going to spread and spread and spread all throughout Europe. But what makes it neat is usually the Renaissance will spawn in Europe. But what's neat is sometimes the game changes it up and it makes it spawn in other places. So we are going to go ahead and improve relations with Bavaria. They absolutely hate us. We are going to want to improve relations with Saxony. They are right here. We have negative 15 relations. Let's go ahead and get that fixed. We absolutely need another diplomat, and this is eating away at us, not having the ability to improve relations with some of our princes. So I believe as soon as we establish the Shadow Kingdom, I'm going to consolidate a diet and hopefully create some new ideas here. I would love to get a new diplomat. Now, of course, the Austrian ideas themselves, we do gain some additional diplomatic annexation cost, imperial authority, military frontier, some fort maintenance reduction, yearly inflation reduction, which is very nice, some additional diplomatic reputation, some ministry strength. So obviously that will help us combat the Reformation that will occur in time. So obviously the Protestantism Reformation will come. The diplomatic relation +1 and some much needed discipline. Surprisingly enough, this is 3% and not 5%. And if we unlock all of these, if we hover over this, we get a chance of a new heir once all Austrian ideas are completed. We are right now, our beginning ideas are 10 additional morale and some additional diplomatic relations improvement. So obviously, our diplomats will improve relations 30% faster than a nation who does not have that, which is very nice as well. Okay, so we are going to click the Holy Roman Empire here. We want this negative 68 to go in our favor for Austria. So once Saxony votes for us, Bohemia will no longer vote for themselves, or at least that's the plan. We are still gaining ducats every month. It's not very much, but it is slowly improving. I'm very nervous about these rebels. We should be able to quell them. But I could obviously improve autonomy. That would drastically reduce the amount of income I get. But because I improved autonomy, you know, I won't necessarily need to deal with unrest. But I don't think I'm going to do that just yet. I have 47,000 manpower, and we are improving relations with Bavaria. If we get it to positive 50, looks like they went from hostile to threatened. I think I would love to take over Salzburg, but you know, if I vassalize a prince, more and more countries might not like me. Every month that goes by, we are gaining more and more imperial authority. And we are moving closer and closer to hopefully taking over all of the Holy Roman Empire. Now, obviously, that won't happen until about the year 1600 or so, maybe even 1700. I've never actually done it before, so this is a first. That's why I'm going for the Steam achievement. We have a small uprising here in Treviso. Might as well send some of our troops over just in case. Now, our truce with Venice will end in 1459. What I'm going to do is I might declare war on Urbino. They are a vassal of the Papal States. If I declare on Urbino, they should have to bring, you know, France in here. And, you know, while they're at war, I might be able to declare war on the Papal States and not France. And during this war, I might be able to break this alliance with France and the Papal States. So that might be a very good option. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and end this episode here. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in our next episode.